God bless people who make puzzle games, because Lord knows they're impossible to market. They're terrible for Let's Plays, they don't lend themselves well to action-y sizzle reels. And worst of all, they're just hard to describe. The central mechanic is always some abstract, geometric, impossible space thingamabob. How do you describe that shit? Games journalists will describe games as Skyrim with guns, and we'll all point at them and have a hearty laugh at their expense. But I mean, it works. It's functional. It's accurate enough. 3 words and people can go, yeah, okay, that sounds like my thing, or nope, not for me. May not capture all the nuances, but it fits in a title. And this is the internet. No one reads past the title. No one wants nuances. Now try and come up with a punchy way to describe Fez. You rotate the thing and force perspective jump from one thing to another thing. But then also halfway through the game, the puzzles get harder, and then you have to break a bunch of ciphers and use them to enter secret codes that open up new parts of the world, including a weird nightmare world based on the Virtual Boy. And worse yet, you couldn't even give that description without spoiling most of the game. So how the fuck do you review a game like Gorogoa? There are pictures, you move the pictures, surprising shit happens. You'll like it. It's good. It's fine. You'll like it. Just try it. But it's odd for a puzzle game in that it doesn't really adhere to any hard and fast rules, which doesn't make it hard because there are so few discrete choices you can make. You can brute force your way through any problem. Your only options are click inside a picture or move a picture around. But what moving pictures around does isn't consistent. And this creates a problem when you're trying to make a puzzle game. You need consistent rules in order to iterate on them to create more complex puzzles. The Witness starts off with dumb line puzzles, then dumb line puzzles with extra rules, then line puzzles with mistakes, then line puzzles based on the environment, then line puzzles in the environment, then line puzzles in the real world. Now you're a line puzzle, motherfucker! Without the ability to iterate on existing rules, new ones have to keep being introduced, taught to the player, and then dropped, which is a lot more work than combining existing mechanics. So it's no surprise the game is short. So I guess on a technical level, Gorogoa isn't what you're looking for in a puzzle game usually. But luckily we're not obliged to review games on a strictly technical level. And there's something else about this game worth checking out. I mean, for one, the art is gorgeous and the music is affecting, but those attributes are fleeting. The real question is this. After the smoke is cleared and the wow factor is gone, does the game give you something to think about? Yes. Turns out there's actually a story here in all these little pictures. At first you see all the characters in the game reading the same books and kind of thinking about the same things. And you think, oh, this is a game about the importance of culture and the wisdom of indigenous ways of learning, and the monster is a metaphor for environmental catastrophe or something. And that's backed up by the vaguely ethnic Latin Mediterranean aesthetic that the game has, but then the game drops a twist on you at the end. It turns out they're all the same person, trapped either in a bunch of shattered memories or some weird Slaughterhouse-5 style time displacement. And it's only with that piece of information that you can really piece together the relationship between each scene, and realize that this isn't the story of a plucky kid who manages to prevent a disaster, but a story of an old man trying to piece together in his head how he could have prevented a mistake he made as that kid. And suddenly Gorogoa's short length becomes an asset, because just like the protagonist, you can only find the answers by going back through where you've been before and using what you've learned to put the pieces together. And unlike trying to replay any other puzzle game, there's nothing tedious about going back through Gorogoa. Anyway, just like all indie games, it's pretentious garbage. 7 out of 10. Bye!
I'm not afraid of anything in this world. There's nothing